Welcome back to another episode of I'm Not Quite Sure. I'm your host, Wyatt. Well, in the Biden family, they sadly had a death. Their beloved dog Champ passed away last week, which is surprisingly not the first death that people thought would come out of the Biden family. And France is sending over a second Statue of Liberty to the United States. I think it's as a reminder to, have freedom and equality for all, because apparently we have not been doing a great job of that recently. And a Boy Scout troop got scammed when they rented an Airbnb in Florida. Once they arrived there, there was nothing there, just an empty field. And I thought the Scouts would be a little more prepared for this, because the Boy Scouts are always prepared, but also because it's an Airbnb in Florida. I feel like to some degree you should have seen this coming. And there was an article this week called Why I Love Going to the Nudist Beach, which I don't think is an article anyone needs, mostly because the answer to that question is in the phrase nudist beach. And the bishops clashed with Biden over abortion rules, which are two of the least qualified groups to talk about that subject. That'd be like if you had the Boy Scouts plan your next trip through Airbnb. Our movie review for this week is Fools Rush In, which is the only thing I've seen Matthew Perry in besides Friends. Matthew Perry also just plays basically Chandler in this movie. They look and sound exactly the same. They both work a weird job where you're not really sure what it is. They make weird, sort of corny jokes the entire time, and they make pretty bad decisions. The plot of Fools Rush In actually moves very, very quickly, which makes sense given the title, but it's so fast that it feels like a rom-com, but backwards. They get together within the first 10 minutes, they meet the family within the first 30, they're married after the first 40 minutes, and then they make it work for the entire time. It's a very weird movie. And they also just don't tell you things. Like if 3 months were to pass in between scenes, they wouldn't tell you that. You would just have to pick it up from one piece of dialogue where a character goes, hey, remember 3 months ago? And that's it. That's all you get. It's also not a great argument for abortion if the reason you want to get an abortion is because you don't want to have a baby with a guy you just met, and you don't want to get married in a random church in Las Vegas on like a random Tuesday night, and because he lives in Nevada right now and so do you, but he actually lives in New York City. He's just there on business, and you don't really know how that would work to have a child. But they make it work in the movie, so I don't know. This episode of The Basement was brought to you by sunscreen. Are you white? Then you definitely have to buy this stuff. It's basically a necessity. It's a white, slimy, gross texture that you have to put on, otherwise you'll get burned and be uncomfortable for like a month. But white people were huge assholes for most of history, so this is just one of those ways that we have to, pay it back. It's like karma. If karma came in the form of a white, slimy, gross texture in a plastic bottle. Thanks for watching another episode of The Basement. I'm your host, Wyatt. Don't forget to let me know what movie you'd like me to review next down in the comments. I'll see you next time.